Welcome to Off-Grid Victory. Today I want to talk about some chainsaws here. So we do a lot of chainsawing on the homestead. This particular model is the Stihl MS461, and I've had this guy probably 15 years plus. And as kind of a prepper-minded person, I actually have two of these, and one is none, and two is one, right? So anyway, I have two of these. I've been running this particular one for about 15 years continuously, and so it has lasted all that time. And unfortunately, I think you can only buy this model currently in Canada, the MS461. Now, they do make a MS461R in the US you can buy, and that's the fire department version of this chainsaw, because they use it to rip down doors and things like that, and frames and things of that nature during a rescue operation for the fire department. And for those fire department guys who know actually how to use this chainsaw, kudos to them. And yeah, it's a great chainsaw for even that, because for the power that it produces, it has a 76.5 cc engine on it, and it weighs, this particular setup I think is about 14.8 pounds. Now I have the shortest bar that you can run on it. It's a 20-inch bar. It's been well used on either side, as you can see. And it can accept a chain bar as big as 32 inches. So I've had lots of experience with a 28-inch bar. I could pretty much work all day long with a 20-inch bar. 28-inch bar, not so much. And so I would recommend having different bar sizes. Definitely get the shorter 20-inch. Definitely get something longer like a 28-inch for those large trees. But yeah, it's plenty powerful enough. And for the weight of it, roughly 15 pounds, and the engine size, this thing at the time when it was produced was one of the most efficient power to weight ratio chainsaws out there, and it has served me very well for all these years. And so I would highly recommend an MS461. If you can find it in the US, great, get one for yourself. In Canada, definitely you can still get it. If you absolutely have to, I guess you can get the rescue version and kind of tone the bar down and things like that, and basically get back to a 461. But you know, it's an expensive chainsaw. Even when I bought it, I paid a little bit over $1,000 for it. And the replacement, the MS461 the 462, the problem with that is, in terms of the power to weight ratio, it's not as good as this guy. And who's to say it's going to last over a decade? I don't know. It really remains to be seen. And especially some of the anti-pollution kind of technology that they built into the 462, I'm a little bit curious to see if it can make it that long. But I know these guys, the 461s, even the predecessor to this, the 460, can do its job. But in this video, I want to focus on something different today, because I actually bought a new chainsaw. And I really didn't buy it because I only have one of these. But anyway, this is what I wanted to show you. And this is my new chainsaw, and it's a MS170. Now, why the heck did I buy a little chainsaw like this? Because in some sense, a little chainsaw could be more dangerous than a big chainsaw. Especially for an old user like myself, who's used to that weight and power. And so this guy's almost a toy to me, and you know, I can even operate this guy with one hand, you know, like this. But anyway, my whole point is I can't do that with my other guy. So the reason why I like this new MS170, and the reason why I bought it, because it only weighs 8.6 pounds. It has a smaller 30 cc engine. So compare a 30 cc engine versus a almost 77 cc engine. And the weight on this is close to 9 pounds. The weight on this is close to 15 pounds. So you're getting a lot more performance from that MS461 or even the MS462 versus the 170, you know, based on the power to weight ratio. However, this still MS170 is something I would still recommend, because This chainsaw is light enough that you could use it as a limbing hand saw, and definitely it's a lot cheaper than the Stihl limbing arborist chainsaws, which have a different design. You know, it's not the standard you know, rear handle design like this. It's just an upper trigger with a handle, and so you get a lot more, you know, I guess kickback type of a issue with a limbing chainsaw versus the standard chainsaw model like this, where you actually have a rear handle. And so in terms of safety and operations, this MS170 is even better than the limbing chainsaw that costs probably at least double, a little bit more than double this particular guy. And that's what also I want to talk about. The MS170 is a great value chainsaw. I mean, it's well under 200 bucks. I think I paid about 170 for mine. This chainsaw here in the rear, the MS461, or the current one, the MS462, they are over $1,000. So in that sense, for 20th of the price, even less than that, this guy is a super value. And let me show you some of the features and why I decided to go with this. It's interesting because I went to this Stihl 461 years and years ago because I was tired of using chainsaws that were underpowered, that weren't professional models, commercial, some, you know, stuff. I would break so many. I think I've broken over like 4 chainsaw over the years before I got this guy, and after that I've never broken a chainsaw. So anyway, that's why I got that. It was well worth it. It paid for itself over the years. Now this guy, in terms of longevity, remains to be seen, because the MS170 is really a residential model. I mean, if you look at kind of the materials that they used, I'll show you the differences in the two chainsaw. You can see where the cost savings is, but once again, it's 1/20th of the price, right? So why are you going to complain about that? And so it is coincidentally about the price of the model. 170 is what I paid for it. So let's go over some of the features here. So okay, so one of the things I would say is these plastic teeth here are kind of scrubby, but they do work, versus, you know, real teeth on a chainsaw like that on a commercial version. And of course the gas, and this is the oil, and this is the gas reservoir, fuel mixture reservoir. They're different. I mean, these have like a screw, kind of a cap, quick release right there. These are just kind of the unscrew, and then there is an indent here to stick your chainsaw bar tool and get that open too if you need to. It has an internal filter in here, which you can kind of take out and dust off. This has a solid filter that you can just take off and clean whenever you want to. And then the other thing is, in terms of the safety brake option here, it's pretty robust. In fact, it's funny because this thing is so underpowered that even if I don't put the chain brake on, if you have it tightened or tensioned correctly, even with that, it doesn't even barely move. So it is kind of funny in that sense. With this guy, especially on a short bar like this where it's revving, you would have to adjust the RPM to get that chain not to move when it's idle. And for a longer bar, of course, that's what I have it set for, a 28 inch, then that's not a problem. But in this particular guy, there is a setting for it actually, but you do not even have to mess with it. And I would not run a bar longer than this that comes with it. I think it's like an 18 inch bar or a 16 inch bar, whatever it is. It's a small bar. You don't want to go more than that, because it really is underpowered. However, I want to just go back to why you would use this and why I would purchase it. Well, the main reason I would purchase it is, like I said, it is pretty well made, And for the value, it's really good. I mean, for 170 bucks, this chainsaw I think will easily outperform anything like Pull-On, what's the other brands, like the Oregon brands, you know, any of the cheaper stuff. In terms of an Echo, maybe a comparable there. Husqvarna, maybe, probably not. I mean, if I was to go with the small model, I would go with, like I said, an Echo or a Stihl like this. At any rate, yeah, I mean, I really enjoy this guy, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I just have to be a little careful because I almost treat it like a toy, and so you don't want to do that with any chainsaw. You want to respect it. And so in that sense, a small chainsaw could be just as deadly as a large one like this. Although, yeah, I mean, you really want to be careful with using it, and I would recommend it. And so that's my review of the Stihl MS170. And by the way, this is the smallest, the cheapest, and the lightest in terms of this class of the rear handle. You can go lighter, by the way, with the limbing Stihl chainsaw, but once again, it's going to be almost, it's going to be more than double the price of this little guy, and it'll have a smaller bar as well. So anyway, that's it. Alrighty guys, shalom.